Welcome back, everyone, to Chem 102. My name is Professor El Hawari, and today we will be going over experiment number 13, which is called Synthesis Preparation of a Biodegradable Plastic. The first thing you want to do is you want to go to Bright Space and you want to make a copy of our lab report template. Again, make a copy, edit the copy, and then re-upload it to our lab assignment. So the first thing you want to do once you make a copy, on the very top left, put your name, and on the right side, put the date in which you are completing the lab. Again, this is Lab 13, Biodegradable Plastics. The this chapter is synonymous with the lecture chapter we talked about, biodegradable plastics. So here we are actually going to synthesize a biodegradable plastic. Again, the directions state in the box below, write one sentence that clearly describes the goal, what you hope to accomplish, and the method used, how you plan to do this, and complete the experiment. The sentence should begin for example, to observe if toast always lands butter side down when it falls off the table by adjusting the height of the table. So, our objective for today is that we will be able to synthesize a simple biodegradable plastic from starch or PLA precursors, evaluate its mechanical and biodegradation properties using two tests, and compare results to conventional plastic to recommend one improvement. Again, our objective for today is that we will be able to synthesize a simple biodegradable plastic from starch or PLA precursors, evaluate its mechanical and biodegradation properties using two tests, and compare results to conventional plastic to recommend one improvement. Again, pause the video, write your objective, and then let's move on to the next section. Make sure you are writing the same objective that we have on the slide, which shows that you have viewed the lab video. So, in the last labs, we've been doing equipment and function. But for this experiment, we're going to change it up. We are going to have materials on the left side, and we are going to have the steps on the right side. So the materials that we will be using for today's experiment is 1 tablespoon cornstarch. So you want to write on the first line 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 2 drops of corn oil. So on the second, you want to write 2 drops of corn oil. Zip sealing plastic bag that goes on the third line. 1 tablespoon water that goes on the fourth line, and food coloring goes on the fifth line, and then a microwave oven is going to go on the sixth line. So write down all the materials and put it on the left side here in this data table. Now, very important, this experiment, as we're going to say later, you can actually try this at home, and then you can attach a picture of what you have been able to accomplish at home. So you are going to do this as well. Again, it's optional, but you could do it. And then you can attach a picture to your lab report. This will add on to your lab report, and you could talk about the picture, and then you can talk about the theory behind what's happening in this lab. Now, for the second column, the steps, I'm going to show you the steps on the next slides, and then you're going to write the steps on these slides as well. So again, here is a picture of everything you need for this experiment. As we said, 1 tablespoon, not a lot, of cornstarch. So it should look like this. This is about a tablespoon. 2 drops of oil. We got 2 drops of oil here. And then zip sealing plastic bag. We got the Ziploc bag right here. 1 tablespoon of water, which as you can see right here. And then you could have food coloring. So you can have food coloring in order to see the different polymers with different colors. It's a fun activity. And you're also going to need access to a microwave oven. Again, it's optional, but it's better for you to do this experiment so so you can experience the chemistry, especially since we are virtual. So this will be a good idea for you to figure out, uh, you know, to mix together different chemicals and to see what's going to happen on the other side. And again, these are all the equipments, and let's start. Now, the steps that we need. Yeah, the PowerPoint is lagging a little bit. Oh, yes, let's go back. When I present, it will bring us to the beginning, but that's fine. All right, here's what we need. Step one. So you're going to write, again, let's go back. You're going to write step one right here in your data table. Step one. So step one says place the cornstarch in the plastic bag, add the corn oil and water. So step one, open up the plastic bag, put your cornstarch in that order, and then you're going to put the oil, and then you are going to put the water. This is what you should see at the very end after putting the oil and the water and the corn starch. Uh, and it goes in the plastic bag, in the Ziploc bag. Now, step two, you're going to write that again in the box. We are going to seal the bag, and then we are going to mix the ingredient. Very important, this step. You have to mix the ingredients by rubbing the outside of the bag with your fingers. So, how do you know that you've mixed it properly when your final mixture looks like this? So we have a picture for you as a reference. Now there is there's an optional step that you could do, is that you could add 2 drops of food coloring to the mixture, seal, and then mix again. Now the purpose of this is that you can color in your polymer. If you want a green polymer, add some green food coloring. If you want a red polymer, add some red food coloring. So if you don't want your polymer to have any color, or the standard color, you can keep it the way it is. Again, adding the food coloring is optional. So again, make sure to write step two on that data table. Step three, which is very important, is that you are going to open the zip seal just a tiny bit, and then you're going to put the bag in the microwave oven. Now, the question is, why do you need to open up the bag a little bit? Because a lot of pressure is going to build up, and what happens as the gas pressure builds up inside the Ziploc bag? It's going to keep building up until it is going to explode. Now, we don't want any explosion happening in your microwave. We want this experiment to be as successful as possible. So, to do that, you're going to open up a tiny bit. You're going to open up the bag a little bit, not much, a little bit, and then you're going to put it inside your microwave. And then what you need to do is, depending on your microwave and depending on the brand, you want to make sure you want to microwave this mixture for 20 seconds on high. So you got to turn the setting to high, microwave it for 20 seconds, and then you are going to stop, or you can stop when you see this right here. As you can see, the white cornstarch has disappeared, and you have this polymer. Now, you got to be very careful at the very end after the microwave. You want to be very careful removing your plastic. It's going to be very hot, so this is an important step. Do not burn yourself. Make sure you use extreme caution. Again, this is optional. When the plastic is still warm, shape it into a ball. As we've discussed in the lecture class, there are some polymers that when you heat up, you can actually form them very easily. But the thing is, once they re-solidify, it will be hard for you to shape it. So whatever shape you want it to be, make sure you start molding it when it's hot, or else you will not be able to mold it. So be very, very careful with that step. And again, do not burn yourself. Very important. Next, if you want to see your plastic degrade, so again, if you open up your Ziploc bag, this is your plastic. Now, if you want it to degrade, you want it to break down, just put it in some water And the plastic that we created, luckily, is biodegradable. So let's see what this looks like. We have it all on the phone. This is the plastic that you should have created. Look at that. And it's a biodegradable plastic. So we're going to take our plastic that we put in the microwave for 20 seconds on high. Look at that. All right, here is the plastic. And we drop it in some water. So the plastic is, notice right away, you can see the water is interacting with the plastic. Now, if you have this pipette, you can use, or you can use a spoon or something that would swirl this plastic. But notice the plastic is degrading. Degrading means it is going to break down. The plastic is slowly but surely degrading. Now, this is a plastic that is good for the environment because we can break it down, unlike the plastic in our water bottle, which does not break down. And it goes into the ocean and it causes a big problem. Now, notice not all of it dissolved, but eventually it will dissolve if you heat it up. It might also dissolve, but we don't want to do that. But for now, you can see that if you just put it in water, it will start to eventually dissolve. Now, try it. Again, take all the material that we talked about, and here's what you're going to do. Again, you're going to place the cornstarch in the plastic bag, add corn oil, add water, seal the bag, and then mix the ingredients by rubbing outside the bag with your fingers. Add 2 drops of food coloring in the mixture. Again, this is optional. Then you're going to seal and mix again. Open the zip seal just a tiny bit and put the bag in the microwave. You're going to microwave on high for 20 to 25 seconds. When you're taking this out of the microwave, be extra careful because the plastic is going to be very hot. While the plastic's still warm, shape it into a ball. If you want to see your ball degrade, just immerse it in water. Now, you might be wondering, how does this all work? Before heating, the starch and water molecules combine physically in a liquid mixture, but do not permanently attach. Heating causes the water molecules to move very fast, fast enough to penetrate and break up the starch granules, which then tangle together to form polymers. Because the polymers are weaker than commercial bioplastics, they readily break apart in water. Durable commercial bioplastics need heat, microbes, and much more time to biodegrade, which is just fine with manufacturers. After all, who would buy a bottle that dissolves in water? And the answer is no one. So you can do this experiment, and again, you can attach a picture. So the summary, as we always do, in one or more paragraphs, summarize the results of this experiment. Make sure to write in full sentences. Avoid using bullet points or sentence fragments. If you are able to try this experiment, insert a photo of the biodegradable plastic you have made, which will be a good uh, exercise for you. Will be a very nice exercise, and it will keep you engaged as you are doing this. And very important, if you go back to lab to the lecture for chapter number 13, it will also talk about the bioplastics. Thank you for listening to the lab video. Now, here are the announcement reminders. You are expected to complete the following task by the due date. You need to watch the assigned experimental video, which you have done. The next part is you want to complete the quiz based on the experimental video posted on Brightspace. And you also want to submit the lab report using the given template based on this experimental video. And again, the lab report is here. Make sure to fill all the sections, the materials, the steps, and very important, make sure to talk about the summary. Today's experiment, we do not have any data table for you to fill out, but you're writing the objective, the materials, the steps, and very importantly, write a summary about the concepts in today's experiment. Thank you for listening and see you soon. Last time next week will be our final experiment. Thank you and see you soon.